was okay. I think we can do better than that, though. I said, how you guys doing today? Now, that's what I like to hear. Now, my name is JoJo, and helping me here today is Christian. Nobody really likes him. And we work for a company called Conservation Ambassadors. Now, what it is we do at our center is we give a home to rescued wildlife, either to animals that have been injured somehow and can't be set free back out to the wild. Those animals are sent to us at our center. Or other times we have a big problem, especially here in the United States. We have a problem with people trying to make pets out of wild animals. Now that never ever works. It's also against the law, and those animals are taken away and sent to our center as well. Then what we do is give these animals lots of love, lots of attention, and lots of food. And the animals that we can, we train to travel, going mostly to school groups, giving us a chance to share some amazing rescued wildlife up close and personal. Now, we've actually been partnering with SeaWorld for the last 25 years, and we've gotten to witness some of the amazing rescue work that they continue to do. In fact, since SeaWorld first opened their gates, they have now rescued and released over 40,000 animals. Now that definitely deserves a round of applause. Now, if SeaWorld asked us to come share some of our rescued wildlife with you, we were super excited to do so. And we brought some awesome animals for you guys to meet. And we're gonna start with one of our local friends. Check him out.
This is Twitch, our Virginia opossum. This is originally East Coast animal, but they spread all across the United States while the railroad tracks they built. In fact, they were brought state to state as a food source. But we came across Twitch here because one night a lady was driving home and she saw a cute little fur ball run across the road. And she had tried her best to stop, but she had accidentally hit that fur ball. So she got out of her car and she saw that she had hit an opossum. However, though, this lady was really smart. She had done her research and she was reading somewhere that opossums are marsupial. And we know marsupials and out the pouch. But what do they keep in that pouch? What do they keep in that pouch? There we go. So she got down real low. She bravely opened up that pouch, and what she found was 5 beautiful opossums. One of them being Twitch here. So she swooped them on up and took them to the nearest rehab center, where they had the best chance of getting back out in the wild, and they were doing great. They were eating, they're foraging for their own food, they're getting bigger and strong and start climbing. They're even saving people, except for Twitch here, who they had discovered was almost completely blind and was unable to release back out in the wild with his siblings. So he found a home with us a couple months ago. And I know a couple months is young, but these guys, they only live 2 to 3 years. But check this out. In those 2 to 3 years, a mama opossum, she'll have up to 50 babies. Yeah. If I had 50 kids, I'd probably call it for 3 years too. Now he's an amazing animal. He's North America's only marsupial. But our next guest is a good predator on a completely different scale. But let's give a hand to Twitch, our Virginia opossum.
Now this is Spike, the North American alligator. Now, the first question that people always seem to ask me is, JoJo, why doesn't he bite you? And you guys know what the answer to that question is? Well, Spike here, he only bites Dodger fans. See, Spike, he's been doing educational programs with us for the past 37 years. He's been doing these programs longer than I have, and it was one of my all-time favorites to share with an audience. Now, the North American alligator. These guys are perfectly set up for life in the swamps. Some things that help them. Number one is that nose. His nose is positioned right on top of his snout. Now he can stick just the tip of his nose out of the water, and he can breathe. It works like a snorkel. Then he's got these awesome spikes. Do you know what those spikes are called? It's called an osteoderm. Can you guys say osteoderm? One more time. A third time. Do you know what I'm doing? I'm catching my breath. Now, that's right, it's an osteoderm. That means it's part bone, part skin. Now, that is his protection from other alligators, but then he's got that big, long, muscular tail. Now, that tail of his is the most well-muscled part of his body. He can pump that tail along and swim 4 nautical miles an hour faster than a bottlenose dolphin can. Take that, Dalton Stadium. He even has 2,000 pounds per square inch of crushing power in that mouth. Whenever he grabs a hold of something, you can bet it's always his. Now, the North American alligator, though, this is an animal that gives me hope. See, alligators give me hope because we almost lost these big, beautiful creatures. We almost lost the North American alligators because of this side skin. See, so many alligators were overhunted for that skin to make boots and belts and wallets and purses out of them that we almost lost the largest reptile that we had here in the United States. But do you guys know what happened? People got involved. They started protecting the alligators, they protected the alligators' habitats, and now the alligators have made such a strong comeback that there are over 2 million alligators in Florida alone. Now they're a problem animal, which I think is very cool to see. Now Spike, though, he actually came to our center because he was found being kept in a man's bathtub in Los Angeles. Somebody decided it'd be a good idea to take Spike here and keep him in their bathtub, and he was taken away and sent to our center, and he's been helping us do educational programs ever since. But let's say goodbye to Spike, the North American alligator. No, you say see you later. You know, I did that bit in school once. And this little kindergartner came up to us at the end of the program, and he said, see you later, alligator, to Spike. So I said, in a while, crocodile. And this little kindergartner looked me dead in the eye and said, see you soon, you big baboon. Caught me right in the heart. But our next guest is an amazing animal who happens to be just a little bit prickly. But let's say goodbye to Spike one last time.
All right, and this is Boris, the South American porcupine, also known as the quindu. And I'm sure you guys have heard the stories of them shooting their quills. So here's what we're gonna do. On the count of 3, we're all gonna clap one time really loudly. When we do this, Boris here is gonna turn towards the audience and shoot 10 to 20 quills. So those of you in the front row, cover your eyes. All right, ready? 1, 2, 3. Oh, nothing happened. Let's try it again, one more time. 1, 2, 3. Oh, you guys know why nothing happened? Because he's deaf. No, porcupines can't shoot their quills. Those quills are just hair, sharp, stiff, and pokey. And when another animal touches them, that's when they're left behind. It's not like they're spring-loaded. They can say fire missile 6 and shoot those quills out. But even though they can't shoot their quills, they are still amazing animals, making up some of the largest members of the rodent family. From the African Indian crested porcupine, weighing up to 50 pounds and having quills 2 feet long in length, or the fuzzy little tree climber, the North American porcupine with barbed quills. But my absolute favorite to talk about is the South American porcupine, having over 30,000 quills covering every inch of his body, except for that cute little button nose of his, the very pads of his feet, and the tip of this prehensile tail. And you'll find these guys sitting up high in the canopies, sleeping in a hollow tree, waiting for nightfall. And when nighttime comes, that's when they poke their heads out, getting ready to go on their nightly excursions. And they use this tail of theirs to secure themselves up in the branches while they reach out for fruits and flowers and branches. Now, we came across Boris here, though, because he came to us from an animal production company that was shut down due to lack of funding. So he's retired from life on the big screens to now doing programs with us. I think he's absolutely amazing, though. But our next guest is one of the most iconic animals on the planet. But let's say goodbye to Boris, our pokey friend, the quindu.
Now this is Spirit, and she is the bald eagle. And today is her first day on this stage. Get your grip there, lady. Now you guys can definitely see why we have Spirit at our center. See, Spirit was flying free up in Sitka, Alaska on her very, very first flights when she was shot by a fisherman in that left wing of hers. Now somehow, she managed to swim her way back to shore where she was taken in by the Sitka Raptor Center where they saved her life, but unfortunately, they couldn't save that left wing of hers and they had to amputate it below her elbow. So her missing that left wing completely takes away her ability to fly, which is why she's with us at our center. Now, bald eagles, though, they are one of the most inspiring and recognizable animals on this planet. But once again, we almost lost these beautiful creatures. We almost lost the bald eagles due to a chemical called DDT. It was used way back in the day, and we used this miracle pesticide. People sprayed on their crops, they'd even spray it on their children. And nobody was being hurt directly, but that chemical would wash in the riverways, it would be absorbed by the fish, the eagles would then eat those fish, and the eagles themselves would survive. But they ended up with a calcium deficiency. And that calcium deficiency resulted in the bald eagles laying very, very soft eggs. So when they would nest, the eggs would break and no new generations of eagles were being born. Now here's the thing. DDT was banned in the 70s. It was done being used forever, but the problem was still occurring and our national symbol was in danger of going extinct. It actually took the help of scientists and volunteers that would go out and watch the bald eagles' nests, waiting for moms to lay their eggs. Right when those eggs were laid, they would chase mom away, which is not as easy as it sounds. They would take the soft eggs back to incubate them and leave fake eggs in the nest. Now, right when those babies would hatch, they rushed them back to that very same nest, and this was working surprisingly well. But the best part was, those babies didn't have the chemical in their system anymore. They were able to reproduce on their own. And this worked so well that in 2007, the bald eagles were even taken off the endangered species list, and our national symbol is thriving once again in our waterways. I think that's absolutely amazing. Now, this bird here, she is an amazing, powerful hunter. She has eyesight that is 6 times better than yours or mine. She has close to 1,000 pounds per square inch of crushing power in those talons of hers. Whenever she grabs a hold of something, you can bet it's hers. With that is Spirit. Let's say goodbye to the beautiful bald eagle here.
All right, and this is Pepe, and what is he? That's right, but he's not just any skunk, he's a striped skunk, and you can tell by these beautiful racing stripes going down his back. Now there's also a spotted skunk and a hognose skunk that live on the East Coast, but the one thing that all these skunks have in common is that spray. Have you guys heard of this spray before? I'm Michelle Workson. I'm just kidding, don't you guys worry. That one's gonna be for the end of my career, and it's definitely gonna happen at a junior high school. Now, skunks here, they don't have the fastest feet, the sharpest claws, or the strongest bite. So all they have to defend themselves out there in the wild is that spray. So let's say a big old predator comes along and tries to spook him. You know what he's gonna do? He's gonna throw a really big fit. He's gonna start by stomping those front feet, letting that predator know that he is a skunk and he is gonna spray. And if that first warning isn't good enough, he's gonna do full-on handstands. And if they don't listen to those handstands, well, he's gonna spray. And he can spray up to 15 feet. So some of you guys in our front row here, you're in our spray zone. Now that smells not even the worst part. That spray gets in that animal's eyes, their nose, and it burns, working like nature's pepper spray. But we came across Pepe here because unfortunately, his mama was hit by a car. When they pulled over, they saw little Pepe stand on the side of the road. But I gotta tell you, there is nothing cuter than a baby skunk. They look like little killer whales waddling down the road. So she swooped him on up and she tried to make a pet out of him. But if that wasn't enough, she also removed his scent glands. So Pepe here has no way to defend himself out in the wild, which is why he was sent on over to us. Now our next guest is kind of rising on the internet. It's probably one of the most famous animals, and if you have an Instagram, you've probably seen her. Her name is Tater Tot. Well, let's just check her on out.
This is Tater Tot, and what is she? Capybara. You notice how the kids were the ones that said it. But back in my day, nobody really knew what they were. But ever since these guys were found out on social media, they're all over the place. Now, capybaras. They are the world's largest rodent. Tater Tot here is only 6 months old, but she's gonna grow and grow to weigh over 110 pounds, almost as much as that alligator that you guys just saw earlier. Now, being a rodent though, you guys do have ever-growing teeth that are made out of keratin, the same stuff as your fingernails, so she constantly needs to chew on hard woods or hard foods in order to keep those teeth at a healthy level. But capybaras, these guys are from the rainforests of South America, where they have top-tier predators like jaguars, crocodiles, caimans, and anacondas. So when a baby capybara is first born, they have to be ready to survive. those babies on day 1 can already walk and run. They can already swim. These guys are such good swimmers, they even have an extra eyelid, a built-in pair of swimming goggles so they can see perfectly under the water. These guys are amazing swimmers, swimming on day 1. By day 4, they're already eating solid foods, and they're following mom around through the jungles, trying to survive. Now, Tater Tot, though, she actually came to our center because there was a breeding program out in Arizona that bred for other zoological facilities. But the owner was actually in a car accident and passed away. So they needed to find homes for a bunch of his animals, and they called us up asking if we could give them some homes, and we took in some capybaras, some warthogs, and some other really amazing animals, and Tater Tot's mom gave birth 2 days after arriving at our facility. So we got a little Tater Tot here, and she's been helping us do education programs ever since. Now, she happens to be one of the most social animals on the planet. She makes friends with a lot of animals, including our next guest. And do you guys know how we get to work with all these amazing wild animals? Well, because we do that, people tend to ask us all the time, what's your favorite? So today I'm gonna do the opposite. Do you guys have a favorite animal? What's your favorite? I heard some awesome wild animals, but I'll tell you what, my favorite animal is without question, without a doubt, this next guest. His name is Basil. You guys will definitely know what he is when you see him. Check him out. Come on out here, Basil. This is my favorite animal. I trust him, he trusts me. I know he wants to be with me. You have to know, the wild animals would rather be in nature where they truly belong. But thank you so much for coming and listening to our rescue tales, and enjoy the rest of your day here at SeaWorld, everybody. Thank you very much for coming.